Hello, my fellow Americans and international friends, and welcome into a special edition of the Cal Report. Today is March 9th, 2022. We are coming to you today from the Mojave Desert here in Southern California, right off of the Zzyzx Road exit. So if you've ever gone from Los Angeles to Las Vegas or vice versa right up the 15 freeway here, you will inevitably see this freeway exit. So Zzyzx Road was actually initially known as Soda Springs. It used to be a popular stop for Indians, Spanish explorers, an army outpost, miners, and the railroad. And what's interesting about it is not only Zzyzx the last official word in the English language, but urban legend has it that the resort that used to be out here actually had healing waters, and there were claims that it's the true fountain of youth. I guess there are even news articles of it when it was an army base, how people were miraculously healed. Fake news? Who knows? Anyways, let's head up the 15 freeway towards Las Vegas and catch some more interesting spots. So now we're in Nipton, California, and that right there behind me is the world's largest concentrated solar thermal plant. It is the Ivanpah Solar Electric Generating System, and we are, once again, in the Mojave Desert. So construction began on this plant in October of 2010, and the first unit of the system was connected to the electricity grid for an initial synchronization test in September of 2013, and the facility was formally opened on the 13th of February 2014. The thermal plant was developed by Bright Source Energy and Bechtel. NRG Energy was the largest investor in the project, $300 million worth. Google also contributed $168 million. Also, the United States government has provided a $1.6 billion, with a B, $1.6 billion loan guarantee. The Ivanpah system consists of 3 solar thermal plants, which are situated on 3,500 acres of public land. That number was actually downsized from 4,000 acres. So let's dive into how this plant actually works, shall we? It requires natural gas, actually, to start operations each day. And then once the sun rays get going, continuing on with the boiling of water and the steam flow, up until that point, the natural gas is used to boil the water and get the facility going. Among the issues is that it produces over twice as much pollution that is allowed by the state of California as their threshold for pollution output from factories and power plants. This, of course, is countered by the fact that it is producing power via solar. So as you can see in the first shot that we showed you, there's 3 459-foot towers, and surrounding those is approximately 173,500 heliostats, which are essentially mirrors on motors. It's basically to focus the light directly onto a boiler at the top of the tower, where they heat the tower and produce steam to run the turbines and create power. It's a different kind of solar power instead of just using solar panels. What the heliostats do is constantly move and follow the sun as it traverses the sky, pointing its rays directly at that single point. With many different moving parts, it needs constant maintenance, as you might imagine. Now, if you've heard about some of the things that have happened here since it opened, you already know that this plant has been surrounded with controversy. You might ask yourself, even though it's a 392 megawatt system and can produce enough electricity to power 140,000 homes, was it worth building for $2.2 billion? My personal opinion is no, and here's why. As I mentioned earlier, it produces over twice as much pollution that is allowed by the state of California. In its first year after it opened, it only produced produced 40% of its expected output. There's been a lot of little issues since then that have hampered its ability to produce what was expected overall. Misaligned heliostats at one point were pointing at the wrong part of the tower and actually set one of the towers on fire, and they had to shut it down. Once again, that goes back to how they haven't been able to produce what they thought it could. And said superheated air has caused many issues, such as killing birds that fly right through it. Birds can die before hitting the ground if they happen to fly through this kind of air. Workers call them streamers. From February to June 2014, nearly 300 birds were found around the facility, and it's estimated that more than 3,500 birds die each year. The light also attracts insects, which in turn can attract more birds. The birds essentially combust because of the superheated air. Since its construction, it hasn't produced nearly as much as it was expected to. About 2/3 of the power will be sold under long-term power purchase agreements to Pacific Gas and Electric and SoCal Edison, so we'll see how it goes as we move forward. See that right there? That lotto store sells more lottery tickets in the whole state of California than any other retailer. So as you can see, there's the state line right there. So this is where all the Nevada residents come to get their tickets for the California lottery. As if there wasn't enough gambling in Nevada already. Come on. That's it for today. I really appreciate you guys watching my video. As always, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, or please subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate it, guys. That's what's going on in California. God bless, take care, and I'll see you all next time.